Well, welcome back to yet another episode of the Sunday Riff Refinery. We're on episode number 36 at this point. We just keep trucking along, we keep writing riffs, you know? And this week we're writing riffs with that 8-string that you see behind me, because I've been meaning to write some more 8-string riffs and I didn't have an 8-string for a little bit, and now I do. So we're gonna write some 8-string riffs today. It's not gonna be what you think. It's not gonna be djent, it's not gonna be something super heavy, but it'll be heavy because it's on an 8-string. But before we get started with that, we have a sponsor for today's video, and they've been a sponsor of the channel in the past, so I'm stoked to announce that today's sponsor are the fine folks over at the Rocklock. Now, the Rocklock Pro is their newest iteration to the Rocklock lineup. This new version of the Rocklock is completely coated in rubber to make sure that anywhere that it touches your guitar is not going to be in danger of being scratched or scuffed or damaged really in any way. And the reason why I actually really do enjoy using these Rocklocks on all of my guitar straps is that you can take one set of these Rocklocks and take any strap that you've got, even if it's one of those super old ones, and you can basically install a strap lock system onto it. Meaning you don't have to buy anybody else's fancy straps just to use a strap lock system to make sure your guitar is safe while it's hanging on you. Now, the Rocklock system is as simple to use as literally just feeding the post through one end of your strap and then twisting the other side onto the post, and that's it. Then, oh wait, we need a guitar. Then it's as easy as taking the keyhole side of the Rocklock, placing it onto your strap button, and pulling till it clicks like that. That's it. Super easy, very, very secure. Then you can just pinch the tabs and push forward to remove it from the guitar itself. And you can put it on any other guitar that you have at that point. These are super simple to use. They're solidly built and they won't damage your guitars. You really can't go wrong with them. Please check them out down in the description below. The Rocklock Pro is the way to go. That sounded way too catchy and commercially there. I did not mean for that to happen, but I do mean it. These are great. I use them now on all of my guitar straps, so that way I can use whatever strap that I want to. All right, let's get back into this episode and write some music, shall we? All right, so for those of you that didn't watch my video on Tuesday, this is the new Shan 8 from GOC Guitars, and this is a brand new style of finish. They're testing and prototyping some stuff, and I got my hands on it. It's a sick guitar, but I'll link up above and down below if you want to watch me do the unboxing and tone test. But I do want to say, I think I misspoke during that video. I said that the Neural DSP Fortin Nameless X Suite was the king of 8-string guitar plugins, and I was wrong. I opened up Rabea X recently, and I usually only ever open up that plugin for 6 and 7 strings. But I decided to build a tone on the 8, and it sounds better than Nameless X in my opinion. So this is what we're working with today. It sounds heavy, dude. It sounds heavy, it sounds clear, but it doesn't sound too thin like a lot of 8-string like style tones do. This still has girth to it, and leave it to Rabea. I should have known better because the dude always plays baritone stuff, and this being a 28-inch scale is pretty well into the baritone territory, I would say. But let's go ahead and check out this riff that I was working on. Let me get my footstool because I just find it more comfortable. All right, so the riff that I had in mind was actually a lead riff. So let's go ahead and switch over to the lead tone that I had going on here. It's gonna have a lot of extra noise because I do have the compressor turned on pretty high. Let's go ahead and crank the gate. But the lead like riff that I was thinking of was, so that's what we're working with. I'm at 140 BPM. So let's go ahead and just track that real quick. I don't have any drums for this. I don't have any rhythm guitars for this. We're about to though. All right, so that will probably let trail out a little bit. But now I want to write some sick rhythm guitars for that, so let's see what fits it. Something like that. We're gonna do something droning like that. Let's go ahead and try that again. So I'm surprised that fit. That is a progression I've been trying to write something with for a while. So let's go ahead and track that properly, and then we'll get some drums in on that. Okay, we'll double track that. That sounded decent. Let's bring that lead guitar down a little bit. It's kind of loud. All right, that actually does work. We need some drums for that though. What drums should we use today? I've been sticking to Bogren Digital for the drums, and I think I'm gonna do it again. Modern and Massive 2 would fit this, but dude, the Eloy drums from Bogren Digital has just been doing it for me. So let's go ahead and add Eloy drums in. I think that's what we'll stick with. I just love the snares in Eloy drums. They just do the thing, dude. Even just like right out of the freaking gates too. Let's do, there was the F Street Grande was the best, was my preset of choice. Yeah, we got some ring in that. All right, let's think of some drums here. Let's try it. I gotta like beatbox those out to myself just so I don't forget what I'm thinking, because that's just how I work. I will forget. Okay, let's go relatively high. This works. I can already tell I'm gonna have to re-record the damn guitars again, because every time I write drums, I end up having to re-record the guitars. Maybe it's also because these drums are perfectly on grid, so that's also not helping, but what are we thinking here? Probably a crash. Let's bring the velocities down on all of this though. That works so far. Let's go ahead and paste that. Okay, we'll stick with that. Now what I'm gonna do is do all of that the same, but we'll switch up the kick drum. So we'll just do straight kicks the whole way. We'll change up the cymbals too. Okay, so we've got all of that. I'm gonna leave the fills and everything the same for now because we don't want to change all of that just yet. We do want, maybe we go halftime on the cymbals though. And I guess we'll put them on the other cymbal just to change it up. All right, let's hear that whole section now. Cool. Let's redo the guitars for that real quick, because they did sound like doo-doo. That's so much more fun to play to the drums anyways, honestly. What are we thinking about the drums there? What would you do different on these? I messed up that end there, I didn't let it drag out. Ugh. Cool, I held out the note properly that time. I gotta remember to do that. All right, what am I thinking next? What am I thinking next? I want that to kind of repeat again. Maybe we don't. Let's do this. Let's move everything over. What I'm thinking now is we'll do all of that, but we'll do like a radio edit of it. So let's go ahead and just bounce all of that. Okay. So what we do here is we're gonna do a radio edit for that. So for anybody that has watched the channel for a while, I do my own radio edit inside of EQ. I just like having the control over it. So I bring the high cut way down, I bring the low cut way down with a pretty steep curve on both of them. And then we boost the mids. And so this is what that's gonna sound like. And then when I go to do the final track, I'll automate those all out, so that way it kind of swells back into the full song. So I think that's gonna work. Let's listen to how that transitions. What we need to do is change the drums right here. Daka, daka, ticka, 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 ticka. All right, let's see how that transition works. I'm feeling something clean and sparkly now. Let's figure that out. So what is a good clean tone? I know that Rabea had a really sick clean tone. Let's go low and mid gain. Let's see what this sounds like. It's a little bit too hairy, hence the name. Let's go ahead and find something a little bit less. All right, reverb's a bit much on that. Let's bring the mix down a little bit. Maybe we'll leave the delay on. So what am I thinking? Let's figure this out. Let's see if that fits. Does that fit in with... Yeah, that's a C. That could work. Okay, we got to record something with that. Let's figure this out. All right, that's a placeholder. That's a placeholder. We're gonna figure that out. I want it to then just build up straight into the chorus. So that was just a simple little bridge. Maybe we'll have it play twice. You never know. We'll have it play twice and then we'll have it then go into a chorus. So let's go back to my heavy. So I want it to be very similar to that intro like verse riff, but we're gonna change the lead that's over it. So let's go ahead and record that. That should work, that should work. I think we could probably safely copy the drums over too. So let's copy the drums and we will get to work on that. And I do just want it to repeat the drums both times because I don't want it to be too like much. Let's go back to the lead track and just jam around on this. Do we do some tappies here? Do we do some tappies? We get happy with some tappies? If we can manage to do them. I think we need to crank the compressor a little bit because I suck at tapping since I never do it. So let's give it a little bit more output. We already have it going in pretty crunchy. And I think I have the gate up too high too. That kind of works. That was sloppy. I know it's sloppy, but that kind of works. And I say we do the same. Let's take the original drums from here and we'll paste them because I want the double bass. So what we'll do is we'll take the rhythm guitars over and we're going to do something different for that lead. Okay, I think I have an idea of what I want to do. Kind of? I don't know, man. Kind of? Okay, we got half of it that time. I'm gonna take that half and we're gonna record the other half because I just seem to be incapable of playing that as one whole lick. I really need to get better at the tapping because, dude, my fingers are getting torn up from this. Gotta get my fingers back on par. That was kind of cool. I think I need to tap a little bit harder, but I kind of liked how that ended. No, honestly, I'm gonna leave that. There's a lot of noise in it and everything, but the ambience of this tone makes it sound cool. Okay, now we gotta figure out this little middle piece here. So it sounds good, it just needs to be more coherent. So I'm going to just redo that. Does that work? This is sounding fun. All right, I think we're on to something here. Let's take a listen to the final playthrough of this because I think that we're sitting on something cool here. I need to do bass for it still, but I don't have any strings on a bass that are large enough to, record in double drop E. So let's go ahead and just listen to this without bass for now. You'll hear it in a final mix later, just not today. Whoa, hold up here. This is future mixing editing Ryan here. While I was mixing the song, I decided it needed bass and it deserved a full mix treatment. And so that's exactly what I went and did. I went and added bass and I used Umansky Bass because that is a 6-string dingwall bass and it fit the tone and the ability to tune that low perfectly for this song. So I went through and I programmed all the bass. Not very well. I'm not good at programming bass, to be quite honest with y'all. But instead of just hearing the crappy unmixed playthrough, let's go ahead and take a listen to the real playthrough, okay? Let's go. All right, what did y'all think? That sounds like a little bit of a banger to me. I don't know about y'all, but this is going somewhere. I was really feeling, I don't know, ERRA kind of, maybe some Dayseeker. Dayseeker tunes super low as well. And yeah, those kind of vocals and everything, I don't think I can accomplish. Maybe in a future video, we'll give it a try. But those are kind of the vibes I'm getting from this song. But let me know, what do you think of this one? I thought it sounded sick, like I said, but I wrote it. So, but yeah, I'm stoked on this. I'm stoked to be writing some more music on an 8-string too. It needs to happen a lot more often. Too much fun. But yes, that was episode number 36 of the Sunday Riff Refinery. We've got it in the books. We got something heavy on an 8-string today, but heavy and melodic. I don't know, I'm loving it. It sounds sick. It was fun to write. And I'm gonna do it again next week, or the week after, or the week after. I don't know. We'll see. My ADHD kicks in and something inevitably drives me in a different direction, so we'll see what goes on. But please make sure you check out the sponsor of today's video. This is the Rocklock Pro. It's down in the description below, not an affiliate link or anything like that. And I do truly use these on every strap that I own. I have 3 different straps now that have the Rocklock Pros on them. These are sick. They're a cheap investment to protect your guitars because you don't want to drop them when you're on stage or when you're at home walking around with your guitar on like I tend to. But with that, thank you all for coming along on this journey. Please hit that subscribe button if you haven't already. Please hit that like button if you liked this. And if not, tell me down below that you hate it. At least help out the stats here, you know? But until next time, peace and love, and I will talk to you all in the next one. Bye now.